still go into the fair value gap and then head higher, because like I said, I was aiming for higher prices. I'm still bullish. Nobody can take that away from me. I'm going to still be bullish until we take out all-time highs. Does it mean that we're gonna go bullish and just move up the whole time? Not really. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, my name is Lewis, and I thank you for your support and thank you for being here. If this is the first time that you're tuning into my YouTube channel, I'm just a trader documenting his trading journey. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share it with somebody who's also on their trading journey. Let me know how your trading week went down below, and don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Also follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals_ and on TikTok at LewisVisuals. I've started posting a lot more on my stories, so make sure you check those out. But I have something very important to tell you, and I'm going to be telling you this at the end of the video, so you want to make sure you stay until then, because it's me being real as a trader with you. So stay till the end for that. This was a very short week, so I'm gonna just do a brief overview, probably only go over a couple days, but it was only really Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mostly Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday that were really good days. Tuesday I wasn't home and I wasn't really trading, so I paper traded it, but I'll talk about everything that happened and we'll go from there. But I'm gonna be very honest and very truthful at the end of the video, so stay till the end, please. And yeah, let's just head straight into the sponsor of this video and into the Discord. Now into the sponsor of this video, Tektronix. If you head to Tektronix Instagram page and you follow them, you're able to use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. All you have to do is send them a DM and they will take care of you. If you're looking for the best PC with the best parts in the markets, make sure you go and check them out and let them know that I sent you there. I'm gonna put up the video of my case. I have a case and some extra RAM from Tektronix.com, so please make sure you head over there and show some support if you're looking for anything that has to do with a PC. Apart from that, that's everything I have to say, and let's head straight into the Discord. Now here we are at the Discord. The link is down in the description. We have been going very well in here, being very active recently, and I couldn't be any more thankful. If you're wanting to join, like I said, all I ask is that you keep the conversation going. I do this every time that I post a video. If you want access to all of this, which is the premium Discord, make sure you go all the way down into the join premium, and all the information you need is there. If you want one-on-one mentorship from me as well, it is in there also. Thank you so much for the amount of support that I've been getting on the Discord. You already have 133 members in here, so it wouldn't be possible without you. Same with my Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Thank you for all the amount of support that you've been giving me on all of that. But I don't want to make this video too long. I want to hop straight into the fire stuff, and let's talk about what ended up happening this week. As you can see here, I was already doing some back testing, and if you follow me on Instagram at LewisVisuals, you'll see what I was doing today. But I was here, as you can see, from yesterday Friday. That is not what I want to talk about right now. What I want to talk about is the stuff that you see in here. For example, this is the week that we ended up having, from not really a Monday low, but really a Friday low all the way up to a Thursday high. Coming into the week, I think everybody's draw on liquidity was these relatively equal highs up here, and when it got taken out on Wednesday, it kind of messed up everybody's bias, I guess you could say. But these are a lot of trades that I took that I was just back testing. I'll tell you the ones that I really did take. If you want to see all the trades that I took for real, head to my Instagram at LewisVisuals_. You'll see all of the executions live on there. But let's talk about the days that really matter, which is really these days. Tuesday was also very good, but like I said, I paper traded Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday because I wasn't home. I had a very long drive ahead, so I wasn't gonna be paying too much attention, so I just paper traded it short scalp, but it was a very good trade. Friday, I'll leave it up to Friday to, you know, tell you all that stuff. But Monday, there was no trading day, so it doesn't really matter. I didn't even look at the charts that day. But let's head into Tuesday real quick, because on Tuesday, it was a very simple trade idea. Obviously, I was already bullish, especially from what ended up happening here on last Friday. This is a clear market maker buy model. This is the sell side of the curve here, and this is the buy side of the curve. So it's very simple to see where they wanted the price to draw. So from Friday into Monday, I was like, I'm already bullish. Didn't look at the market on Monday, but if you come in here on Tuesday, you can see a lot. I just talk about the most simple thing that I saw was obviously this liquidity sweep there. We end up having this as well, which is just an OTE. Very simple entry. There's a breaker right here on the lower time frames with a low, high, lower, low, higher, high, and then ES tapping into the breaker, and then Q not tapping into that breaker. So let me see if I could bring it up really quickly. Here it is. As you can see, the breaker is already marked on ES, and Q does not have it, and never tapped it into it, but it did get inside the golden pocket of the OTE. So that's kind of where I got my entry from. And yeah, this is my actual fill from that day. This is what you can do when you have correct narrative and correct bias. It was a trade that was fairly easy to play out. I just waited to see what price was going to do at the open. Once I saw price retracting this far down, I was like, okay, this is where we can go. I could have targeted even higher, honestly, but I just targeted this high from 9, basically the 9 o'clock high as my target, and it ended up hitting a 5R real quick. I sent it in the Discord as as well. And there it is. This is the trade that I took and ended up hitting. I posted it on my Instagram as well. So if you're not following me on there, please make sure you are, because I post a lot on my stories and I let you know, especially now that I'm posting a lot of more personal content where it's like you and I when I'm talking on the phone. And it's kind of like we're on FaceTime, really, but I am trying to get a little bit more personal, a little bit more relatable on social media instead of just having the content like I do here where I'm posting this type of content. But that was the trade entry in there. I actually got this fill. I entered right here. I had an idea that this was going to be the low of the day either way. I wanted to see if they were going to come in a little bit lower, but no, they didn't. And, you know, it's fine, because a lot of people are entering shorts in this position here. But a problem that I've been having is entering shorts in a discount and entering longs in a premium. So taking account OTE is always going to help. But let's move on from that. That was a trade on Tuesday. Now let's move on to Wednesday. Now Wednesday got me tight because Wednesday I was bullish. So coming into the day, as you can see here, Wednesday was the day that the equal highs were taken out. I was still bullish. I want to see higher prices, and obviously we got higher prices. But what I wanted to see was at the 9 o'clock open, us drop below this sell side liquidity in here and then head to that high. And instead they opened and then went up, took out that high. So from there they started to dump. I took a long here. I ended up taking a loss, and then I ended up taking this long here after we had an SMT, and this is my actual entry. But the problem is that I got stopped out at break even, and then price went up and gave me my 50 points, which is usually what I target on the prop firm accounts. But here it is. You can see it in the execution as well. And this is my actual entry. This is where I got in. I actually got in after I saw the SMT. This is kind of OTE as well, so I was like, let me give it a try for a long here. We had a good reaction off the long, but it continued to chop, and I didn't take profits up here, which was like $800 worth of profit. I would try to stay in until 50 points, which is $1,000 profit on the prop firm account. But what I did was I moved my stop right above break even, and they came down one last time, took me out, and then they went up to get the 50 points. I was so tight after this happened, but either way it doesn't really matter because the move didn't end up happening until later on in the day, and I think it's because we have FOMC minutes. But as you can see, we end up having this dump, and then after the dump in the afternoon session, we have this massive move leading into Asia right here. And then I was back testing as well, and it just made a lot of sense. We ended up having a 4-hour gap below here, this 4-hour gap below price. So I was like, we could still go into the fair value gap and then head higher, because like I said, I was aiming for higher prices. I'm still bullish. Nobody could take that away from me. I'm going to still be bullish until we take out all-time highs. Does it mean that we're gonna go bullish and just move up the whole time? Not really. But at the same time, we will have those retracements, and I have to be better at timing the retracements, especially when we do something like, for example, do this, where we on the 15 minutes, very apparent that they were gonna end up going short this moment, at least until we hit a level that was bigger, like this daily level right here, this daily fair value gap. But for example, as you can see, this is the order block, this 15-minute order block. We swept liquidity right here. They come back up into the order block. There's actually, I believe, a 5-minute fair value gap inside of there, if I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly, yeah, here it is. This 5-minute fair value gap gets tapped inside the order block. If you pair an order block with a fair value gap, that's a very high chance that you're gonna get a good short from there. But they came up to it and gave these really good shorts to lead into these longs, and these longs would have been hard. I think after seeing all this, taking a long somewhere up here would have been the best. The only real entry would have been found in here, maybe on the lower time frames, if I'm being honest. Probably taking like the first fair value gap off of that, you know, if you even get one. Yeah, we get this one here, and then it continues higher. I've seen some people take it in here somewhere, but at the same time, like I said, this is crazy right here. So you don't want to be trading inside this unless you already had a level where you were like, okay, it's gonna go from here. So if you had a limit order here with a stop inside the fair value gap, then probably would have been the best entry. But that's what happened on Wednesday. Now Thursday, I was back testing these, and if you want to learn what I'm doing here, you have to be in my one-on-one mentorship. I will not talk about that, but I will talk about the trade entry that ended up happening here in New York session. The move started in Asia on Thursday, and I was taking longs because I'm still bullish. But Thursday got me tight because not only was I taking longs early in here, I also took a short in an extreme discount, which pissed me off, and then it just got me tight when I just had to wait a couple more minutes and then take the short inside of the OTE, and I'll show you all that. But if you pay attention very closely in here, you'll see we came up above these highs, which is a 1 hour fair value gap. If you see right here, here, this 1 hour fair value gap. And then if we bring up Thursday, here on Thursday, this is the SMT at that point, but that 1 hour fair value gap was never tapped on ES. As you can see, I'm gonna highlight it on ES so you can see it clearly. This fair value gap was never tapped into. Once again, this one was. So that added on to what happened in London. It was very clear that the bias was just bearish as hell on Thursday. There was no bullishness at all, and I was trying to take longs in here thinking, oh, we're in OTE of this range or something like that, and then I just kept getting cooked. And then once I switched my bias to shorts, I was finally correct, but I took shorts at the wrong time because we were in a discount. Now let me show you the idea that I took, and then you can see it, but all I had to do was wait. Like I said, this right here, and then there's an entry inside of there that I will keep for my premium members. I will only talk to them about it, but this is a crazy entry. This is a 31R, but that's besides the point. Let me hide this here so I could remember to talk about it later. But here we are. This in here was what got me mad. I took the short here on the 1 minute, and I was like, of course, watch when after seeing all this, I was like, watch me get into a trade, and as soon as I enter a trade short, it's going to turn around or start chopping after we've been moving so cleanly this whole AM session. As you can see, I entered a short in here. If I'm not mistaken, it was inside this fair value gap right here. If you can see, this fair value gap was extremely in the discount. Now, if for example you don't know how to get the discount and premium in the price leg that you're in, you could head into a higher time frame to figure that out. Right here, liquidity was up, and this is the low. So high, low. As you can see, if you bring this out here, we came up to OTE inside of this order block and died from there. Just completely dumped, and could have been targeting the daily fair value gap once again, or even this low. All I needed was 50 points, and that's where I framed this trade at. I didn't take it, honestly. I did not. This was just a framed out idea. Very simple. I look at the difference from where I entered to where I should have entered. This is discount, extreme discount. If I'm already entering once the move started, you have to wait till you get back to equilibrium or at least a premium to enter shorts. Up here, perfect execution for shorts. Would have been very easy to enter shorts, in there, and then gotten out somewhere down here. But like I said, stupid of me to even take a short here, expecting us to head all the way down here when I could have just waited for a retracement to then enter. Again, it's a matter of patience. I'm not being very patient with my entries, and that shit is causing me to lose and take L's on stupid stuff because I have a very good idea on where price is drawing. I knew price was going to end up drawing towards these lows right here and the daily fair value gap, but I wasn't patient enough to wait. Now here on Friday, the trade that I did take and I posted on my Instagram was over here. I took this long. I saw these equal highs, and I saw that as liquidity that was going to get taken out later on, and as you can see here, it was very much taken out later on. But this is the trade that I ended up taking. I ended up seeing that they dumped below equilibrium of this price leg right here, from this low to this high. Very clear that we were in a discount. If you bring out OTE, you can see that we went below OTE, so we're in an extreme discount. Now, why did it stop there? We ended up taking out liquidity and hitting the wick of this 1 minute fair value gap. As you can see, they respected the wick of the 1 minute fair value gap and inverse this fair value gap while creating a fair value gap that is bullish on this side. So I just waited for them to come back inside the inverse fair value gap, and I took the long there. Had my stop originally below here, and then I moved it below here once they started to expand, and the rest is history. I got out here because I saw an SMT above this high with ES, so I was like, yeah, you know what, let me just get out. It was a 120 points, and I remember posting it in my Discord as well. There's no need to keep holding it. It was also a demo trade. I decided to demo trade because I had a horrible day on Thursday. Like, Thursday cooked me, and I was so mad. I was like, you know what, might as well just trade on paper today. I don't want to deal any more damage, and obviously I caught a really good trade, so you know, it is what it is. But at the same time, there's no need to let the algorithm tell you what's gonna happen. Start taking trades when they're screaming at you to take them, not when you feel like you have to take them or you feel like you're gonna miss out on it. Like, let the algorithm tell you exactly what's gonna happen and then just react off of it. What I'm doing is I'm marking out a level, and I'm like, okay, once it gets here, it's gonna go, and then I'm not even waiting for some type of reaction, and it's getting me tight. But then we have this amazing long later on in the day, and the only way that you can figure out what this is here is if you end up coming to my premium Discord, or you know, if you want to go and try it out yourself, figure out what ended up happening here and look at all three, NY, NQ, and YM, and figure that out. That's how I figured out what ended up happening, and I was like, you know what, this is very interesting. I'm gonna start looking at the market in this way as well. But it is what it is. But those are the trades that I ended up taking this week. It was a very short week. It was a very impactful week. It was a lot of learning and a lot of things happening. But like I said, I have to be able to be honest with you and tell you the truth on everything and every single matter, no matter what it is. But like I said, I wanted to be very honest with you, and And this is the part that I was talking about in the beginning of the video. I ended up blowing the $500 account. The account is gone, $500 lost. What ended up happening was that I'm not very good at trading on my phone and on my computer at the same time. I need a copy trader is basically what I'm saying. So with my entries, I have very precise entries. So if I don't get the correct entry and I place my stop at a low or something like that, it will take me out and then go in my direction. What ended up happening is I would enter, it would take me out and then go. And it just kept going in that cycle. And I had a couple of days where I did over leverage. So it's also my fault that I did do that. The crazy thing is that I was doing good on my funded accounts and I was taking the same trades from my funded accounts as I was taking on the personal account. But like I said, I would be mostly focused on my computer for the funded accounts. And then once I was in and set my stop loss and take profits, then I would try to rush to my phone to try to enter in the same move. And it was just not working out. I need to get a good copy trader to be able to do that, but also fix these little stupid things. Impatience is one. Not being able to wait till the market is clear as hell, like telling me, yo, take this trade or you're stupid. Over leveraging, I think I have a hold on that. I don't think I will have that problem, but just following my rules, because my thing is that since I do know where the market is heading, I tend to enter a trade, and if I get taken out, I'll enter again with the same conviction and enter again with the same conviction, and that ends up losing me a lot of money and over trading. But it's like subconsciously I know that the quality of setups sometimes I'm taking are not the best, so I'm just gonna try to take A+ setups next week and see where that leads to. And the fear of missing out, I think it's the fear of missing out and trying to record a video that's getting to me as well. But the fact that I'm learning all this and I'm being self-aware is also a good thing. So it's only going to be up from here. But I have to be honest, that was some very bad trading that I did in the past, this week and the one before that, because very simple things and being able to react to things as well is also a part of it. But not letting the market show or like play its card before I even jump in is really messing me up. So I'm going to become a way better trader just off of what I learned this week. I'm already back testing, I'm already reviewing my journal, which is the most important part, but a lot of it is psychological. I'm a very good analyst, but when it comes to psychology, that's where I'm messing up at. So I have to be a man and hold myself accountable, because nobody's forcing me to do anything. I'm the one clicking the buttons, and then I end up being mad at the end of the day. Nobody forced me to click the button. I'm the one who's doing it. So either way, I thank you so much for watching this video. If you like, please leave a comment. Let me know how your trading week went. Let me know how everything is going in your experience. If you have any tips, leave them down in the comments as well. Join the Discord, link is down in the description. Head to Techtronics Instagram if you're looking for a PC. Be on the lookout for the videos on my Instagram at LewisVisuals_ and on TikTok on LewisVisuals. Please share this video with somebody who's also on their trading journey. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have to say. I don't have to really say anything else, but apart from that, I thank you so much, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.